Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Doc Sam from the Repro Vets, and today my little buddy Cream Puff here has got some hernias. So today's episode, we're going to be talking to you about what kind of hernias there are, what we do to repair them, and we're going to show you specifically biinguinal hernias today. So hang tight, coming right up. Okay, we're back here with Cream Puff, and we want to go over just a little bit of the anatomy of the belly. There's a couple things that you need to know where they are. First off, there's the little scar right here, and that's where their umbilical cord was. That's the belly button or the umbilical cord. This is a common spot that we see hernias, and we'll go have a specific video over umbilical hernias. But today we're going to be working on biinguinals. We wrote a little B on this one's belly. When we did its physical exam, we saw that there were inguinal hernias. And so I want to show you real quickly kind of what inguinal hernias look like. You can see here right behind this last nipple, there's some kind of a real poochy area, and that can be one of two things. That can just be fat, or it could be an inguinal hernia. The inguinal ring is right in the groin, right here and right here. So each side, so we know that, our left side of the dog is here, the right side of the dog is here. They can have it on either or they can have it on both. And in this particular puppy on Cream Puff, she's got it on both sides. Now, how do we differentiate if this is fat or a hernia? And so what we typically will do is I will place my thumb right where the inguinal ring is, and then slowly rotate it down. And as I do that, I can feel a hernia sac squeeze back through that inguinal ring. You feel kind of a squish feel. And so that's how we check for these and to know if they got it. And little Cream Puff here's got it on both sides. So we're going to show you a little quick how-to video of how we repair these, and you'll get to see the specific hernia sac, and it'll make a little more sense. So we're going to get anesthesia going, and we'll be right back with you. All right, guys, we've got Cream Puff here on the surgery table, and we've got the area scrubbed and cleaned and everything. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a midline approach to these. Now, remember, the hernias are right here and right here, but we're going to make an approach here so that we can get both of them through a centralized incision. And usually my landmarks are right behind the last two nipples. We're going to make a small 1/4 inch incision here. It doesn't take much because we're going to do all this with instruments versus our fingers. So we're going to come in here. We're going to remove just a little bit of this sub-Q fat. There's not much, but there's a little bit, and it's going to make it easier for us to get down to the hernia sacs themselves. To remove just a little bit of that fat. Next, we're going to bluntly dissect here towards this inguinal ring, and that's what we want to go underneath the fat and down right against the abdominal muscle, because the hernia itself is actually a hole in the abdominal muscle right there at the inguinal ring. And so what I did is we went down through here, and we're looking for a glistening hernia sac. Once we get that isolated, we're going to try to show you here what this hernia sac looks like. So we've got the hernia sac here, and we're going to bluntly dissect the fat off of that. And you're going to see it looks kind of like a tube sock here. Once we get this worked out of here. And it's a little deal of the external rectus sheath is the term for it. It's basically a pocket of fat. And so what we want to do next is we want to squeeze the fat out of here, and we're going to spin this hernia sac down. And what that's going to do, you can see as I squeeze that, the fat goes away and it goes back into the abdomen where it belongs. And so we're going to spin this down. What that's going to do is help further push out the fat that's in the inguinal hernia. And next we're going to suture a cruciate pattern suture right at the base of this hernia to close it up. So right at the base, we're going to go around that. Put 2 throws in that. Go back around here, and we're going to put 4 to 6 throws on this. I'm going to cut this off. So the hernia is fixed. We're going to go ahead and cut the sac off there so we don't have a bulge, because that tissue will die because it's been tied off there. And so that's got that side's hernia repaired. Next, we've got the other side. We're going to repeat the process. Blunt dissection right next to the abdominal wall till we find this hernia. Then we're going to isolate it. There we go. We've got that hernia sac isolated. You can see once again, it's just a little tube full of fat. That's abdominal fat. We call it omentum. We're going to squeeze that fat out of there, and then we're going to spin this to help further keep it out while we place that suture. We don't want to trap that fat in our hernia sac when we sew this closed. So we're going to do another transfixing suture. Go right next to the base of it. Two throws on the first side. Wrap the suture around, or in this case, we just flop the hernia over to the other side. We're going to put 4 throws on that. There we are. Okay, now we've got both hernia sacs tied off and repaired, so they won't herniate any of that fat through there. Our next step is going to be to close the incision. The benefit of a small incision is less scar tissue showing, and typically we can close this entire incision with just one simple interrupted suture. That's the benefit of that midline incision and a small incision. Post-op care is pretty limited. As with any abdominal surgery, we recommend confinement for a few days to help prevent swelling, but there's no antibiotics needed typically, and this thing will be healed up and ready to go in just a few days. The suture that we place in here, we use PDS, which is a synthetic absorbable suture. So this suture goes away in 4 to 6 months, and it'll be gone. So we're going to clean off the little drop of blood that we had there. Notice there's hardly any bleeding. And there we have it. It's fixed. All right, guys. So that's all today on how to repair a inguinal hernia in a puppy and how to diagnose that. We hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget, smash that like button and hit subscribe. Thanks for joining us today. We've got lots of more videos coming up. If you have something you want to see on a video, just leave a comment down below. We'll try to do a video on that too. Y'all have a great day.